Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with the Coach on the Spartan Sports Network. And now, here's your host, Walt Fowler.
Thank you, Brad Sarno, voice of the Spartans. And joining us this week on Coffee with the Coach is baseball associate head coach John Garvey. John, it's October. Everyone thinks October baseball, meaning Major League playoffs, but we had some baseball here at Stack in terms of the alumni game. Catch us up with that.
Yeah, so this past Saturday we had an alumni game. We had 22 alums come in. For our team, it was like playing a professional baseball team that day. We out of the 22 guys, 21 of them all played in College World Series from the 2014 team or the 2017 team. And we had probably 5 professional baseball players playing in the alumni game. So it was a pretty cool little atmosphere for our current team to see on Saturday.
And let's get into some of the individuals as far as guys who made, playing professional baseball at a high level and, looking forward to the Major League draft. You give us some of the higher names there.
So Giovanni Dinkong, who was actually not there, but he was drafted in the 30th round. He was invited to Instructional League this year in the fall, so he was down there. Unfortunately, he did break his hamate bone in his left hand and had surgery, so he's on the DL, but he looking to a quick recovery, and they're going to keep him there till November as he transitions to first base, and he's getting ready for spring training out there. Joey Pena was there. He actually had 2 hits in the game, and he got to be very versatile this year. Got to move up to New York Penn League and play for the Lake Monsters, and he had a pretty good summer with them. It hit 270 and looks forward to going back. He played for him. He played shortstop for us for 4 years, and he played second, third, short, left, center. So he got to move around a lot and got to show his versatility. And he's a tremendous athlete, which was great. Frank Moscatello was there this weekend, and he had an unbelievable season with the Rockland Boulders. Right. And he had about 40 innings for them, and out of the bullpen, Chris Pinnell, who's actually on our staff this year, so having him around and playing. Mark Skrelger was there this weekend too, so it's pretty cool. And the last guy that was there, Matt Costales, who's one of the best pitchers we ever had in the program, right. Who won the Can-Am this year with Sussex. So likes to bring that championship flavor back to us and gets to talk about it with the guys. So it's cool to have them all around mingling with the current players and showing them, hey, we did it. Now it's your turn to do it.
And speaking of that, you mentioned 2014 and 2017. Reflect a little on the 2017 season.
2017 season, it was a pretty crazy season. I think we started off a little slow, but the guys were unbelievable. They really, really took the challenge onto themselves. One of the best, offensive teams we ever had. Giovanni Dinkong had 20 home runs that year, and we had basically 60 homers in that one season with our guys. And our pitching staff was really top notch that year. Our bullpen, and they talked about it in the World Series. Our bullpen with a lead after the fifth was 33-0.
Wow! And
they were just incredible. You just give them the ball, and they said, "Hey, the game's over. They got it." So it was a really tremendous year. They were not nervous going into it. They were, the 2014 team. You could see the nerves playing into it. 2017, they were kind of locked in from day one. When they got to Grand Prairie, they were sitting there going, "Hey, we got a shot. We're going to win this." Came up short, but we have a good core of those guys back.
Well, that's where I was going to lead to. A tough act to follow. So you got some holes to fill, but you do have, like you said, a good core.
Yeah, a good core. So our ace is back, Chris Cepeda. He's basically pitched in every big game we ever had to use him. And he beat Colorado Mesa in the College World Series. And then he's back this year, and he's healthy, ready to go. Our catcher, who's been basically the anchor for us for the last 2 seasons, is back. He's a senior this year, so he's ready to go. Our second baseman is returning, and our center fielder. So a good core straight up the middle coming back, and we're looking for some big jumps from guys. Having Tyler Patane coming back and fulfilling his role, being the number 2. and be possibly DHing for us. So he's taking on a bigger role this year and being ready to go. And we have some good core transfers, some good freshmen that are ready to play. Jimmy Forsage, who's a big transfer from Mercer Community, he's coming in and he's going to take a huge role at first base. Hopefully replace some of the power Ding Kong supplied. And we got a transfer Dylan Clark from Herkimer, and a couple other guys that I think that really going to take a big step, just waiting for us to get out there and play. I think that's kind of the more jitters, just waiting for February to come.
Well, obviously it's early, it's in October, but looking ahead to the spring season, who would be the favorites in the top 2 or 3 teams in the conference?
I would say right now it's going to be we're going to probably be on the top of the favorites. LIU Post, they're returning the pitcher of the year, and then I would probably go with Molloy. They returning pretty much their entire staff. They lost 2 of their biggest bats, but they have some guys that I think they can be a real threat at one point. But I like our chances. I like how our team plays, and we're going to be a little different. But I think we have a really good core guys and you can see it in practice right there every day. They're ready to go.
And St. Thomas Aquinas, like you mentioned, in the last 5 years, some exceptional seasons, and a lot of that has to do with recruiting. And we were talking before we started recording, just how you've changed and how the recruiting system has changed here in Sparkill. Just give us a little background on that.
So I took over the recruiting in 2009, and we just got out as fast as we can, and I guess we didn't really get shy away from kids. We went after kids that we thought, hey, we never know. We'll just ask them, would you be interested? And once we got them on campus and sold the campus, targeting the right kid, targeting the right championship mindset kid. So getting to know the kid, knowing where he's come from, how he plays, all that went into it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. We're still going after it. We have 12. We're really going in well for this fall and working on some transfers for next year. And we're really, every day, we're just looking for guys, and we're really talking to them every day and trying to get better, trying to replace what we have, and never really are afraid to go after people.
Where do you start? What's the first step when you start looking for a recruit? Do you go to the local high school, or is there a list you have, or how's that work?
So we have a list that starts PBR, Perfect Game. They're really, really out there. They have the most information. They have a ranking list. We kind of use that a little bit. Travel ball is huge. So basically we're at every major tournament, every major showcase. Either me or an assistant will be out there every day trying to find the next guy that we need. Local high schools are good. I mean, they're the easiest ones because they're right here in the county. But trying to go to other high schools it's hard. We're playing the same time they're playing.
Right.
So trying to find days off and trying to get to games. The good thing is Section 1 championships are at the stadium, so it's in our backyard, so we get to watch those games, so we get a little bit of a preview.
That's a huge help.
Yeah, so, but it's we're basically out every possible day we can be out and getting kids and talking to them, and we don't really waste time. We see a kid, we like them, we're calling you up that next day, and we're saying, hey, we're St. Thomas,
right? Come
to campus. The minute they get on campus, the minute they see the stadium, it's all bets are off after that.
Well, the fruits of the labor are paying off for head coach Scott Muscat, yourself, and the entire coaching staff, because Stack, is a team to contend with in baseball, and it looks good going forward. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that is Associate Baseball Head Coach John Garvey. You've been listening to Monday Morning Coffee with the Coach. I'm Walt Fowler. See you next week.